I am Angelia Stone. I am the CEO of Hope Magazine. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Happy Tuesday. I'm so glad that you are here with me on another wonderful Hope Chat Live, and we are in for a special treat tonight. I'm going to get started. Well, first, before I get started, I'm excited. Just kind of share a little bit about this week. I'm doing in planning mode and all that good stuff. We are making preparation. I know I can talk about it because she's not on Facebook, but we're making preparation for my mom's 80th birthday party, and it's a surprise. And just excited about being able to celebrate her. It's going to talk a little bit so you can have a chance to gather. Make sure you're sharing this, tagging this chat, posting it on your YouTube, or sharing the link. Sharing it on Instagram, who else? LinkedIn, definitely on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, just wherever your platforms are. I would definitely appreciate you for sharing this tonight. I'm so happy that you decided to join me and hope for this amazing show tonight. Each week, we strive to bring you, our friends and supporters, great women and men of influence. We're working on the men to join us, and expertise. And we don't mind even a little or a whole lot of fabulosity at the same time. Tonight, I'm so happy that we have joined in our show a dear sister friend, a dear colleague, a dear mentor. She's just somebody that's amazing, all wrapped up in one individual, and that's none other than Rebecca Bormann. And a little bit about Rebecca. At least I was looking at my notes, and it said a little bit about Rebecca. It's a whole lot about Rebecca. Rebecca is fabulous. So it's going to take a second, but it's very important and essential for me to share about this incredible individual. Even from the first time we've met, I don't even know. I think we met at the Boss Babe Network, the first event that I went with them, and it was just like, you know, how you ever met somebody that you just connected to. That was a great connection, and we've been connected ever since. Rebecca is the founder and CEO of Rebecca Bormann Consulting. She is passionate about empowering others to reach their full potential and to lead a purpose-filled life, which is the foundation for her success in sales, business development, leadership, and technology. Rebecca has spent over 20 years in business development and sales and is a highly accomplished professional with well over $200 million in sales revenue. Rebecca has led and helped develop and mentor sales professionals in all stages of their career. She is excited to share what she has learned through her career and training with sales professionals, business owners, entrepreneurs, and her sales training cohorts, which I am participating. I joined class today for the first time, and we'll talk a little bit later about it. But just know it was really emotional. It was just like this whole sales. It was just like this different component of sales. This was really healing. So effective. So let me keep talking because we'll talk about that later. Rebecca completed her BA in business management and received a certificate of communications from Indiana Wesleyan University. Rebecca holds several certifications, including Axiom Sales, Sales Artist, ABCs of Selling, Stephen Covey's Presentation Advantage, LinkedIn Sales Training, Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Child Advocates Interrupting Racism for Our Children, and Indiana Youth Institute nonprofit fundraising. Rebecca loves being involved in the community, particularly with organizations that support women and children. She is on the board of Women in High Tech, advisory board member for the Boss Babe Network, Startup Ladies, Shift Up Now Foundation, and highly engaged with Pass the Torch for Women Foundation, Woman for Change, and an active member and volunteer for Heartland Church. Rebecca loves to travel. She is definitely a travel bug, and she does definitely love to travel. If you follow her on social media, you definitely know that. She flower gardening, spending time with her Cocker Spaniels, Lucky and Bonnie, and they're just as cute as ever. All right, so that's a lot about Rebecca Bormann. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll bring her back to the studio. And so make sure, if you haven't already done so, share, tag, like, and let us know if you're here. Drop some comments in there and say, hey, and I'll see you in a minute. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, I am too. Thank you so much for joining me on this Tuesday night. Yeah, I wish we could say this beautiful spring night. It's still beautiful. It's still
We're getting
beautiful.
there.
We are watching my words, but yeah, yeah, we're getting there.
Mhm. I have to tell you, I love so much watching the intro video. It's like a trip down memory lane from all the fabulous like Hope events and luncheons and cover reveal mixers I've been to. So all like wonderful memories.
Thank you. Yeah, I enjoy that too because it's just I've meeting so many amazing women such as yourself because that's why I had to think. I was like, well, which event did I meet Rebecca at? I said, I'm thinking it had to been at the Boss Babe. Yeah, I think that's where it was.
Yep,
I said in the intro, we've been connected ever since.
that's right.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And we're going to jump right into our chat because there's a lot of good stuff. And so, one of the things is I would encourage everyone that is watching tonight is to be sure to share this link and share and just, join us for this. And because you definitely, it's going to be a lot of great nuggets. And because one of the things that I know as a business owner is a lot of times we talk about sales, and that is often something that's complicated. So this is one of the reasons I think it's good if you're here with us because you need to be in here. So I'm just gonna start running my mouth. Okay, before we get down to business, Miss Rebecca, let me ask, what is your greatest passion?
Oh man, this is something that we actually talk a lot about in some of our classes. But my biggest passion is really creating connected community.
Mm-hmm.
I just love to bring people together to be a part of groups where we can all share and learn from each other. It's my favorite thing in the world.
I love that. I think you do a wonderful job at that too, by the
Thank
way,
you.
because
Thank
I've
you.
actually seen you work and everything, and I think that is just it's definitely needed. A lot of we need people that want to help bring people together.
Yeah.
So I think that's so important. You're a business consultant. That can be a very broad topic. So tell us what areas of business you specialize in.
Yeah. Thank you for asking. I'm excited to share. So, I really specialize in sales training and consulting. So, helping sales professionals, entrepreneurs, and business owners determine what that's my gratitude reminder
Okay.
that just went off. So
That's
sorry about
okay.
that. Um, to start help folks with their sales strategies and getting comfortable, getting out there, sharing their story, and connecting that with their business and what they do. So many people are like visibly uncomfortable. They kind of squinch up when they start talking about sales,
Yeah.
and it's part of life and it's part of business. And whether you're a for-profit organization or a nonprofit, we have to get the word out about our company, and it's all about finding the yes. So that's what we talk about a lot, and how do we do that in a way that allows us to be our authentic selves and like proudly represent the products and services that we're looking to connect with people where they can improve their life or help them in some way.
And that's the biggest challenge is finding that yes, and because a lot of times we hate to hear that word no,
That's right.
and so yeah, so finding that, navigating to that, that's important. How would you suggest individuals approach their own business ventures? Seeking, I mean, and I know you've been at this probably a while too, and I know I have too. Would you have them to seek consultation first, jump just head first, just jump out there and just get started? Why? I would love to hear your wisdom. I know how I feel at the almost 18 years. I know how I feel, but I would love to hear your thoughts about that.
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think the answer is it depends a little bit on the person and their experience. But I've found for me that having my personal and professional board of advisors has been so critical throughout my whole career. So entrepreneurship is a little newer for me, right? And I've been in sales for the past 20 years for tech firms. And I always looked at, my sales territory, whatever I was running as my own business, responsible for making it grow, making sure the clients are happy, and spreading the word about it. So I think that training and investing in ourselves, investing in business partners is important, because much like anything else, it really takes a village to be successful. And we each have our own expertise. And I think it's great. And especially women, we need to encourage to ask for help for the areas that are outside of our expertise. So sometimes that looks like, talking to a mentor or a friend or a sponsor. And sometimes it looks like, partnering with someone for marketing, or investing in sales training, or looking at someone to help with your accounting and books if that's not your thing.
If that's one of the questions, if I had to have a redo, that's one of the things I wish that, I appreciate my journey of where I'm at. And, when you know better, you do better type mindset. But that's one of the things that I wish that I could have knew better then, is, find before I just I just jumped out there. Let me tell you, only thing I, was actually thinking about it today after after our call today. I said, when I started this, the only thing I knew, because it just was really emotional for me. That was just really emotional for me today. Because when I started doing the Hope brand, I just saw the beautiful, I just seen the beginning, and I seen the end of what I thought it should be like. But Rebecca, I didn't see all the in-between things. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't prepared, and a lot of times we aren't prepared. But what I think is so amazing and fabulous is that as we have grown and we have social media, that we have individuals such as yourself and, myself too, that are out here pouring into other entrepreneurs and other women or men that really want to hone in on their dream and just, figure it out. So I definitely think it's definitely a blessing that we have, like yourself, individuals like yourself that can help us, that, and tell individuals, hold on, get a group of people around you, advisors, and see, kind of implement, plan things out so that you just don't jump out there and do anything this wild and crazy.
Well, and I think, honestly, to your point, when you see the beginning and the end, I know you're a woman of faith too. I think that's a lot of times the way we kind of get our message when it's, in our heart, and then like different steps get revealed along the way. So there's always a little bit of, I think, uncertainty, and I believe that it's all a learning journey.
It is.
So I think we find other folks along the way to, come on the journey with us when we need them most. And I admire so much Hope and all that you all have done for so many women throughout the years, including myself, being able to share some of my stories on this platform, being able to meet so many wonderful women at different events that I've connected with both personally and professionally, and being able to share a little bit of motivation in some of the magazines. It was truly an honor to be one of the first Hope 25 women last year. I think all 25 of us had tears in our eyes at some point, during the event. It's really amazing how you lift us all up, through Hope, which is something I think, being a woman in business and a woman that's been in a male dominated career, we don't get that in our industry, right? So it's so amazing that you do that, for us.
Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you. That's so sweet. Thank you. I enjoy it. That's when I asked what my purpose was, I was like, I asked God that, what is my purpose? What is my assignment? And then this is Hope, is to empower women. So
I love it.
with the economic predictions and current climate, do you think it's a good time for dreamers to step out on their own, or do you think it's best to stick to a 9 to 5 while working a business?
Well, I can speak for myself, and I jumped out into entrepreneurship this year on my own.
Mhm.
So no more corporate 9 to 5 for me. I think that when you've done your diligence to make sure that you're ready for it, that you're personally financially ready for it, because there's going to be some changes right there when you leave your corporate job and go into entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
um, I think that only each of us can know that for ourselves. And I think if you have questions about is it the right time, then that's a great time to go figure out who some of your personal or professional board of advisors are, and to get some feedback from others. Um, that's my 2 cents on that.
I love that. I definitely love that. That was a powerful question because sometimes people feel like, well, if you're working, you're not. I remember back then when I started Hope, is that listen to the wrong. Sometimes you just I had no clue. You listen to the wrong people. They didn't know what they were talking about. But they were saying, "Oh, quit your job. You're not serious if you don't quit your job and really just dive right in there and do your business and stuff." And I was like, that's another thing, a lesson learned. It's like, there's nothing wrong with keeping your 9 to 5 job and building your dream. Even as in our chat, when Gwen said you have to make sure you're ready, you have to make sure you really got to make sure that the lights are being paid and all these things. And again, here we see this, in our mind, we think, oh, just like when I started Hope, I always can go back to when I started the magazine. I just knew I was going to be Oprah overnight. It was about to blow up, because people was telling me, yeah, you just get it, do it, girl, do it. Now that's like, nope, it didn't work out that way. But
And I think
again, and that's okay, because when I think about I can look back now, I'm thinking, well, wow, I said, Oprah is one of my favorite. I love Oprah, but I think I'm more comparable to John Johnson of Ebony, how he started, because he built that from the ground, from scratch. We didn't have a big media company, publishing house that was helping like Oprah. I was just me trying to figure out, learn the industry and everything, and so it's different. So yeah.
Well, and even she started out, being a news anchor and a reporter. And so her journey, I'm sure she would share, was a long one too, to where she's at today. And I think it's so important to have those big visions and goals and something to like dream for. I think what fuels us to keep going and keep investing. And I personally think that you're an entrepreneur, whether you have, it's your side hustle, your passion project, and you have another job, it just matters. We're all in different places in our journey. So we get to figure out the solution that works best for us.
I agree. And then you said the key, figure out the solution that works best for us. I know that you specialize in sales, but I also know you specialize in tech, but we're talking about sales today. That's another conversation. We're talking about tech. What is the number one priority to creating a successful sales strategy?
I think that the number one priority for a successful sales strategy is to put the people first. Right. I really believe in Simon Sinek. He's a famous businessman that has a theory called the golden circle. It's been around for, I don't know, 15 years or so. And he really talks about that the why is more important than the what. And so what he means by that is, how do we connect like our passions and what's fueling us to the business that we're doing? And that has to be the driving force for why we get up and go to work every day. And of course, we all need to make money, right? I mean, that's how we live in this world. And he says that the money is actually, it's like the byproduct of like fulfilling your why and serving others from that place. So I think knowing our why and what gets us up out of bed every morning is like step one for, for successful selling. And I think step two is really understanding that this is a service that you're trying to find the business or the person that you offer a solution for, to a problem that they have, to bring better value to their life, to save them time, whatever the case may be. But it's really with that mindset of it's the service of reaching out to find the people that you can serve.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that. I think that was, so I like what, put the people first. And that's, something that I think you shared today, is how important it is to put the people first. And that way, this leads to our next question. You offer a sales cohort.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this program, and I'm going to definitely talk a lot about this program. It's because I'm a part of this program.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I think this is it was just time. And it's just like, I didn't get a chance to make it to the last session, the last class session, but I mean, my heart wanted to be there. But it was just, again, it was about timing. So a lot of times it's about timing. And the thing of it is that I'm so excited to be a part of this, is because I've been working through a whole evolution, restructuring with my amazing core team. And so, and they have worked hard to get me as the CEO into a particular space, and have done a phenomenal job, that I now know that this is the time, that in the space where God wanted me to be, because it's just like, I'm just like a sponge, and I was ready and open, and so I'm really excited about, being able to participate with that. And because I want to know, instead of the what, I want to talk about the why. Why am I doing this? And that was a reminder of today, my I mean, I have all kind of notes and stuff from today. I've been crying, and it's just been so great, is that, it's so empowering when you're able to go to invest in going to a training. And that's, some of the things that my team has also encouraged me, get into some training, get into some space, but just don't go to anything, because, that's so important to be in the right space, in the right training, and with the right people, So that was so important. So let's talk about this program. Who should invest in this program, and why? I don't know, everybody that's watching and listening needs to invest in this program, but we're going to hear from the creator and founder why we need to do this.
Well, you've got me over here blushing.
Great. It's back on my nose. I'm going to watch it again. It's exciting.
I'm beyond delighted that you're a part of this group. And I agree, just like you do. Like, this was the right time. This was the right group. This, everybody that's supposed to be there, it is. And I think, we're going to do great things together and all support each other. So the cohort really came about because over the last few years, I've been asked to come do some sales training for different organizations, a lot of them women organizations that I've been involved with, because a lot of folks just are uncomfortable, with it. And I think it's because the world sends us a lot of messages about salespeople being pushy or rude, or you had one bad experience, and then we carry that with us. So part of what the training is to kind of reframe our mindset about what this is, and that it's a service to help people. And over my career in sales, I've been blessed to go through a lot of training, leadership training, business development training. I'm one of those people that's always reading books and investing in training in myself too, leadership skills and life skills. And in a lot of the sales trainings, they teach really tactical things, which is great, right? We need to have processes. We need to have strategies. We need to understand, how to overcome objections and things like that. But what I found is there were a lot of foundational tools that I noticed that people that were, enjoying their sales career, found it fulfilling and successful, they were missing from a lot of that training. And for me, and in our cohort curriculum, that we kind of start with the foundational tools of growth and abundance mindset, and what does that mean for each of us, and what are some tools that we can use in our daily lives that when we notice we're operating from a place of scarcity, that's going to drive behaviors that we really don't want to do. How do we shift into that to become thinking abundant, to know that there's plenty of opportunities out there, for what's for us can't be taken away. And so we talk about different strategies. I have a training partner, Tawana Hill Thulis, who is incredible. I call her the tools queen. That
Oh
that
my gosh.
that is part of this training. And we were blessed to meet. Oh man, I think it was 7 or 8 years ago. We were both in a leadership program that we had gone to on our own, and magic, right? Really similar with you and I. Like, we just knew we were going to be connected and stay in touch for forever.
Mm-hmm.
And so we talk a lot about those foundational tools, and what to do with them, and how to bring yourself back to a place of abundance. And the other big tools I would really call are relationship building tools. We'll talk about this in one of our upcoming workshops, but it's understanding a little bit around trust. And in our culture here in the US, that the culture is really more of mistrust instead of trust.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that trust is like a foundational tool in building relationships, personally or professionally, right? So these are things you can apply to all relationships. And what can we do from our mindset and our actions to come from a place of always creating trust?
Mm-hmm.
And we also dive into a little bit of the psychology of why people say yes. So this will give us tools that we can use when we're putting together our messages for proposals, when we're thinking about what are we going to write on social media, when we're in conversations with folks. It'll help us understand like what information is valuable to helping people make decisions, right? And I think sometimes we are really excited about what we're doing, and we can just a laundry list of all the things that we can do to possibly help you. That's not necessarily the greatest way to help someone actually understand, what it is that you do and how you could serve them. Starts by, listening and asking strategic questions, and then understanding what kind of information, is valuable to them to help them make their decision. And then really the third foundational tool is around your why, right? Identifying what our why is, like for us personally, and then how do we connect that to the mission of our business, to what we're doing, and how do we craft a story that we can share with others. So you also get to practice your storytelling in the cohort and get feedback from your members. I think it's great to have feedback from a diverse group of people so you can see how your messaging resonates with others. And we all have great ideas to help folks tweak or adjust, and so you can realize that there's different personality types out there, and things are going to hit them different, so when to tweak a little for your buyer. And of course we talk about the strategic parts of prospecting and networking and negotiation skills, and our mindset around money. And at the very end, we talk about how when you close a sale or make a new partnership, that's just the beginning. It's not the end. So how do we continue to grow that relationship, be a good partner, and like a good steward of that relationship? So that was a lot. But
that was great, because I got a couple more questions to kind of go with that for my next. But what I loved about that, because it took me back about it was to me today in my first first class today. It was psychological. It was just like, oh. And it wasn't just about, oh, I'm going to help you put this media kit together. You're going to sell. But it really honed in on, like you said, the why, And I think, I was just like, wow, it goes back to when I said, the beginning. The only thing I saw was the beginning and the end of this ideal that I had. But Rebecca, I didn't know that there were so many layers to this onion that I really needed to deal with, you know?
Mm.
And that's why I said this has been a great timing for me, is because I'm in this great space and place where I believe God has me, is to be able to identify, and it's important who I connect with. And it's more than just saying, oh, I want to talk, I want this Fortune 500 company to say, I want them, but I need to be able to know if it fits with the Hope woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, does it serve her need and her purpose? You know, it's more than just saying, oh, and it just made me rethink things all day. I was really trying to, I was at work, but my mind was still on, you know, everything else that was going on, because it was again, it was on the whole abundance and the mindset. And one of the things that Tawana had said that really just struck me. So it's just like, you know, when I started doing Hope, I didn't think about the success and, you know, all the things that come along with being a business owner, you know, the good, the bad, people being nasty and ugly. You know, I had no clue all that was
Mm-hmm.
going to be a part of this. But one of the main things that I had to really work on, and where I'm in, is the space, and a lot of times I think is what happens with a lot of us, is being able to know what it feels like to actually be successful. And you know, when she posed that, it's like, how will that feel if you made $14.5 million? And I like, oh my gosh, I never really thought about that. You know, it's just like you just going along doing what you love and everything. And I said, well, I have to have this conversation about money. You know, it's because you have to be able to be in a space to receive that,
That's
and
right.
so that was really powerful to me today. And I'm just like, of course, along with a lot of things, it's just like, and so, you know, one of the things that I said, that my affirmations that I said today, that I am choosing to sit at my magic, you know, that's what my affirmation was, because I'm like, I never really have thought. I'm just like, I mean, with sales, it's like I would get a big account, and the big account to me was $10,000 or $15,000. That's huge, but I was fine. I never did think that I can go and get an extra zero, you know, added to that extra two zeros, because of that relationship and that mindset and that healing, to know that, well, why not, you know?
That's
And
right.
so, and not even knowing that there's like some type of blockage or wall there, that, well, have I really prepared for that, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so this is great. That's why I say everybody needs to be on. They need to
Well,
be turned up.
my heart is so happy that that you got some new tools and
I
that this
did.
is like resonating. And Tawana calls it starting with the end in mind, and I love that. And it's a practice that I've been using for many years. I call it like setting an intention. Same thing. And even for as simple as you have a call coming up with a possible, you know, big sponsor or a Fortune 500 company, to take a moment to, with yourself, and if you have some of your core team in there, to have a brief conversation about what is the intention, what are you going to create. You want to create connection and meaningfulness, and you want to connect. You want to have an opportunity to provide them a proposal, you know, whatever it may be, to just all be in line with that. And it's so powerful.
Mm-hmm. And that's something that I love, and I'm asking because I'll keep talking all night. But it's something that you had even said. It's like, I'm like, it's just a place to be. How you were sharing, you know, when I was, you know, trying to get on the call, I think you were sharing about how that there was a time where you had prepared for this big client for a long time, you know. And I thought, man, it's just like, again, that it goes back to mindset and healing and abundance and everything. And that count didn't even go through, you know. But to be able to be in a space to say, well, we had a $5 million deal, but we got in there after we did the negotiation and talking, it wasn't a fit. To be able to walk away and be okay with that, you know. Wow.
Yeah.
That was so powerful, because a lot of times it's just like, where it's like, oh, I need the money, I got to pay the bills, I got this. But you really want to be mindful of who, of the deals that you accept. So, yeah. So you shared a little bit about this specific goals, and there's 9 of them to the cohort. Can you tell us about those areas like abundance, mindset, this kind of briefly?
Yeah. So it's abundance, like I went over, relationship building tools, which are trust and understanding the psychology of yes, knowing your why, and being able to tell your story. And then really what we call getting out there. So that's like networking and prospecting and like building partnerships. And then the last is really like sealing the deal and continuing the relationship.
I love that. That was good. That's a lot. It's a lot. I can't wait. I'm going to go over my notes again. It's just, oh my gosh, I can't wait this. Oh, it's just great. The Harvard Business Review released this article that says, although women make up just over half of the college educated workforce, they hold less than 1/3 of B2B, business to business sales jobs. According to 2019 Bureau of Labor Statistic data, women are underrepresented, in tech, but also in B2B sales in most industry, including wholesale, manufacturing, 27%, financial services, 30%. Yet research shows that women salespeople often outperform men. What do you think about this?
Well, I wish I could say I was surprised, but I'm not. Being in tech and being involved with organizations like Women in High Tech, which is about women in STEM careers, so science, technology, engineering, and math, and being involved in the Boss Babe Network, which is about professional women and entrepreneurs in all industries. I am not shocked to learn that women are yet again like the minority in like B2B sales.
Wow.
I think that, man, just like so many, I could tell you so many stories, but just like so many other scenarios in the professional world, women have been looked at that, we can't negotiate. We don't know about money. We're too soft. Or if you're, outspoken, you're too hard.
Yeah.
And we've really been having to play the balancing act, if you will, to try and find our role, to get our seat at the table and to be heard. That's one of the reasons why I think Hope Magazine exists, why the Boss Babe Network, Women in High Tech, Pass the Torch for Women, all these different wonderful organizations are working to advance equity and inclusion and belonging to allow us to be our whole authentic selves in all that we do and to claim our seat at the table. I can say from personal experience, I would agree that women kill it in B2B sales. I've had the pleasure of serving alongside and leading some of the most phenomenal sales reps out there for huge organizations like Verizon. And man, women are good. I think there's a few things that, like, as a woman that are to our advantage, like naturally a lot of times, is one, we're great listeners. And listening is so important to understand what it is that your client needs, where they need help, where they're struggling, and then to in complex B2B sales, oftentimes then you're going to work back with, solution architects or engineers to help bring the solution, but to bring the right information to them to create the right solution the first time around is critical, right? I mean, that is being respectful of your client's time to gather all that information up front instead of, making a stab at, oh, okay, you need this, that, and the other without all the right information. And I think one of the other things that is, important in business development and sales is empathy, which is oftentimes another strength for us women. And I think, we need to be encouraged to like show that in our work.
I love that. Women rock. We just rock. That's
Yes.
just it. That's just, definitely rock. Let's see here. What do you project for the future of women in business, tech, and sales? What are your thought process on that? I know we talked about women. We know we do rock, but what do you predict? What would you, not so much what do you what do you project for the future? What would you like to see happen?
Yeah, I mean, women are going to run this place,
Mhm.
right? I mean,
Mhm.
right? I know I can't help but have like Beyonce run through my head. But honestly, like it's like the goal, the dream is equity and inclusion and belonging, that we have equal seats at the leadership tables and the advisory boards and the Fortune 500 companies and all the way down, that we are acknowledged for our unique perspectives and experiences that are going to create better products and solutions for consumers as a whole, and and businesses. And so that's the dream, is that um we organizations like Hope and all the others we've already mentioned on the show, we get to exist to like celebrate each other, which we do now, but we also are out there fighting and grinding for each other too. And I hope that part, maybe we don't have to fight so hard in the future.
I love that. That would be so that yeah, that would be ideal. That is definitely a great a great projection. How can our audience find out more about the cohort and how can they sign up, or when will what kind of information can you share?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I'm excited to share that. So my website is rbormannconsulting.com. We have a cohort that is starting mid-April that's available right now, and we'll also be sharing a couple more that will be launching, like later spring and early summer. I also offer workshops and kind of one-offs for professional organizations and businesses, as well as I work directly with companies to bring sales strategy or sales training to their organizations. And I'm excited to talk to anyone that is looking to level up their sales and really come from a perspective of people first and relationship selling. That's what we do. I'm also on LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook, and you can just look up Rebecca Bormann Consulting.
I love that. I was just going to ask how our audience can connect with you or follow you, and you just answered that. And you can, I want to say, this is how you can follow this wanderlust traveler, this fur baby lover, and this foodie, and this woman of faith. Because she's all those things. She's fun. She is. She is definitely one of my girlfriends. Is her brand is around. She is called the Ultimate Girlfriend, and that's what I think about Rebecca Bormann. She is the ultimate girlfriend. Once you have, we all, is certain people that, how you say we need our personal board. I have that. And when you really connect with the people who you're supposed to connect with, they show up for you. And I can personally say that you have showed up for me since the day that we've met, and you have done that for the other women and the brands and the entities that you work with. And I tell you, kudos to you, because that's what we need. So yes, so I am definitely going to continue to talk about this. I'm going to share with my team, my core team, about the sales. I think you're phenomenal. This is what every brand and every company. I have several publishing sisters that are out there, and that's just like, it's like, oh gosh, that's always been some of the main conversations, like, how do we get the money, But what I think is more than just how do we get the money, but learning our why, and just kind of like I said again, working through all those different levels to be, what I am prepared to get this 200 million dollars.
That's it.
I'm gonna get prepared to get it, and this is, it's not gonna be chase. It's just gonna just, like people will always say, it just shows up, and it's one day it's gonna just show up. So, Rebecca Bormann, thank you so much for joining us on tonight. Again, I want everybody to share everything. Go to her website, follow her. Follow me. I'll be talking about my experience, and I'm just like bursting. This is like, this is so exciting. So yeah,
it is like been beyond my pleasure. And the law of energy, right, says like attracts like, and all the things that you just said, I feel exactly the same about you. So it proves again, right, that the good Lord brings us together to help lift each other up. So thank you so much. This has been like incredible. I love talking to you, and so glad to have this opportunity to share with your audience. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. You have a wonderful night. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Good night. Bye. Wasn't that fabulous? That was fantastic. I want to thank you all so much for joining. There was a lot that we covered on tonight, and make sure you go back and listen to this. Follow Rebecca, sign up for her, follow her newsletter, and follow her on social media to stay in, tuned when she has her next cohort in April. You definitely don't want to miss it. This is more than just for people in public. This is just knowing this. Any entrepreneur or business owner, I think it would just be so, it will definitely be highly effective for you and your company. But thank you all so much. Thank you again for joining us. And I will see you on next week, you beautiful and lovely gems.